Hey everyone, welcome back to another online battle. We've got the Lizardmen versus Warriors of Chaos in this battle. So this was interesting, and I'll show you what I mean when we get on in. So, the Lizardmen, we've brought a front line of skink cohorts on the flanks to try and flank around. We've got a front line of Saurus warriors with shields, so the standard frontline infantry of Lizardmen. We also have a skink priest on its stegodon. Have a nice little look at that. So this is going to be a unit that we want to charge through the back lines and kind of disrupt the enemy infantry. And also because of their heavy armor, we wanted to bring it for its flock. Crow flock, doom flock, that's it. Oh, why can't I? Oh, there we go, doom flock of doom, there we go. Use that quite effectively to take out any heavily armoured infantry that they may have. Using the feral bastiladon to do that as well, as much as we possibly can. And the feral cold ones to try and tie up any cavalry they may have. I also had 4 lots of skink skirmishers to try and skirmish from the sides. I did forward deploy them, but unfortunately they didn't really position themselves where I thought they would, down the middle. I was going to plan on skirmishing from both sides, but didn't quite work out that way. And I had feral cold ones to back them up too. So, the Chaos player, he brought 2 lots of Marauder Horsemen. So that was probably, actually 3 lots of Marauder Horsemen. Yeah, 4 lots. There we go. So they would have been pretty effective at dealing damage to my chameleon skinks. We would have traded evenly. We do trade quite evenly there. And then he's got quite a mixture. So he's got Chaos Warriors, Chaos Marauders, some Forsaken. He's also got Chaos Warriors with halberds. So he's got a very heavy infantry line. Hasn't quite lined them up though. They're quite spread out. And then he has the Exalted Hero as his Lord, and the Arcane, the Ever Chosen. Oh, okay, so he's brought 2 melee lords. That's very interesting. And then he's got Chaos Warhounds and Chaos Warhounds with poison. I was assuming to try and flank me. So let's see how this goes. As you can see, we've got some skirmishing going off here between our Marauder Horsemen and my skink skirmishers. His is probably going better at this moment than mine is. I am getting these feral cold ones over here to try and help out and take out these Marauder Horsemen. My 1 lot of skink skirmishers do end up getting obliterated. And I am using my skink priest to get as much damage as I can into these Marauder Horsemen. Doing quite effective actually. And bringing the skink skirmishers back over from the deployment that wasn't so good for me. Lots of skirmishing going on over here. We have drawn quite a few Chaos Warriors and Marauders over into this battle over here as well, which is interesting. Didn't expect that to happen, but it did. And his line is kind of a little odd, I must say. So he does get the Poison Warhounds into Krokkar, meaning that his leadership and speed is debuffed, as well as his melee attack. But I do get a really good Flock of Doom going down onto those Chaos Halberds. I do end up collecting both of them. So that's quite a significant amount of damage going down on them, which is good for me. And I do end up getting a nice surround because of the weird formation he had at the start. Because of that, this really good surround from the skink cohort does end up helping me get some rear charge into them, attacked in the flank. As you can see, my feral bastiladon getting in. And he is firing upon my skink priest with some sort of fire spell. I'm not sure what it was, but it doesn't do that much damage. But we are healing, regenerating some of that health. My skink cohort is kind of being routed because of all these marauder horsemen. Not doing as well as they should have against those warhounds. But over here, these chaos warriors with halberds are getting absolutely annihilated. And I am constantly buffing. I should have gotten these Saurus warriors over here a little earlier. Back over here, this fight's going quite well actually, because these Forsaken aren't ever able to catch my skink skirmishers. So I'm just gonna skirmish them to death. Same for the Chaos Marauders. So that's not a fight they should have picked, but they picked it anyway. So back over into the main battle. Krokkar does get quite a bit of a beating because of these Chaos Halberds. I end up charging in my Skink Priest, which does quite a bit of damage to them. And I end up chucking down a Flock of Doom, I think. Maybe it's just a buff. I don't know. When is it going to have effect? Oh, there we go. We got a comet coming in from Krokkar to try and do as much damage as they can. And we have cleaned up this Chaos Halberd over here. Just need to get rid of them for once and for all. These Forsaken still chasing my skink skirmishers. Should have realised they'd never catch them, but they haven't. And we're still skirmishing over there. He is bringing back his routed units though, which does look to cause some issues for me. Chaos Marauder is not doing so well against the Saurus shields. But my Saurus warriors with shields over here getting obliterated. Same for my Skink Priest. I do need to get him out of there and get some healing going down. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Getting the Cold Blood to go off. Cold Blooded going down. Healing him up a little bit. And now I've got Krokkar coming back in with the full health that he gained from the Cold Blood once he ran away. Getting my Skink Skirmishers in here as well to try and fire upon them and give some debuffs. Get those debuffs going down. I didn't deal with these Marauder Horsemen quick enough either. So, Skink Skirmishers still being used to beat up these Chaos Marauders. And just using my Skink Priest to fire in volleys of poison at the moment. Along with these Skink Skirmishers over here. We've got Chaos Warhounds coming back in from routing. So using those Skink Skirmishers to try and chase them off once again. We don't want them coming back. Need them to reroute before they get back into battle. There we go. Rerouted them back out to the side. Have they broken? Yes, they have broken and shattered. So they should run off the battlefield from there. We do have a big clump going on here. So I've got my Skink Skirmishers and my Skink Priest firing in all the last of their ammunition to poison and debuff these enemies as much as I possibly can. Krokkar, unfortunately Archaon the Ever-Chosen is still fighting on to the bitter death. And our Feral Bastiladon has been broken and will rout from the battlefield. Same for Krokkar. Krokkar has also been broken, which is not good for our leadership. And as you can see over on the flank, Skink Skirmishers still skirmishing off as much as they possibly can with these Chaos Marauders and Forsaken. A Firebolt coming from the Arcane, the Ever-Chosen, and missing Krokkar, luckily. everything coming back. The Feral Bastiladon has gone out of control, which is good. So he's coming back into the battlefield. Unfortunately, these Marauders came back, Marauder Horsemen, and so did the Chaos Halberds. So we do need to chase them off. It was in their favour at the moment, but I had gotten rid of the Exalted Hero and fired in another blast from Krokhgar. Just saved my Skink Priest from the Chaos Warhounds, and we just have the Exalted Arcane, the Ever-Chosen left. But I don't have a lot to defeat him because of all that armor that he has. 120 armor. And crazy buffs. Look at those buffs. The Slayer of Kings. Holy moly. So the thing does still say in their favour, so basically our only option now is to try destroy them in leadership. So get rid of everything off the battlefield and then destroy Archaon's leadership from there. So everything else has routed and is running broken off the battlefield. The Exalted Hero is now wavering and re-coming back. So I do need to chuck some more into him and get rid of him off the battlefield finally. I am trying to bring over my last remaining Skink Skirmishers to put one last assault and just charge and recharge Archaon the Ever-Chosen. Unfortunately, the Exalted Hero is coming back, and I did not see that until it was too late. But luckily, my Feral Bastiladon does decide, no, you are going to go. So charges on in and sends him flying once again. And now he is broken and running off the battlefield. So I'm just going to constantly charge him and try and keep Krokhgar alive. And my Skink Priest alive so that my other units don't lose all their leadership. I have routed most of everything else off the battlefield except for these Marauder Horsemen, and finally they do rout for good. Now all they've got left is Arcane the Ever-Chosen, but he looks like he will not break. No, it looks like he's not breaking. Does he have Unbreakable? No, I don't think he does. But we've got quite a fight going on here. Oh no, there we go. He is wavering now. So the fight still says it's in his favour. The one thing, if he did have some sort of AoE ability left, I would have been wiped off the battlefield. With everybody in here, he could have cast one AoE ability, and that would have been the end of me. But luckily for me, he had used all of his magic up. So we've just got heaps of Skink Skirmishers, Saurus Warriors, a Stegodon, all just wailing on him as much as they possibly can. He was trying to chase my Skink Priest. I decided that needed to stay alive. Same for Krokhgar. We needed that for the leadership in order to try and constantly batter down with fear and terror this Arcane the Ever-Chosen. So he is getting quite debuffed, and he's just trying to run him out, which is unfortunate for him. Most of my guys are just standing around, unfortunately. Not battling as I thought they were, which is kind of annoying. There we go. Now they're getting into him. Okay, so just a mass of Lizardmen trying to beat the hell out of this Archon. Everything else from the enemy has routed, and I'm now bringing my Skink Skirmishers back over into the battle. So just a constant charging from Krokhgar and the Skink Priest and just everybody trying to stay alive. Krokhgar does end up going down, which is not good, but finally the Archon does end up getting routed. So we do take out the Pyrrhic victory. It was a very good battle against Navigator. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Those Poison Warhounds did absolute work. Unfortunately, his Chaos Halberds did not do as well as he would have hoped they would do, because I did end up getting a couple Flockets of Doom into them and taking their health down quite quickly. And he did end up chasing around my Skink Skirmishers quite a long time with some Chaos Warriors and Forsaken. I mean, they didn't do quite as well as they could have either. But I really, MVPs, I think the Skink Skirmishers definitely were very effective in this battle. Did exactly what I wanted them to do. Disrupt and take out high valued targets and stop them from doing as much damage as they should have done, like Arcane, the Ever-Chosen, and that Exalted Hero. Skink Priest doing quite a bit of work against the Chaos Warriors. I think Navigator would have done a little better if he'd had... well, probably could have taken me out if he had a better frontline setup and hadn't chased my Skink Skirmishers like he did. I was just doing hand movements and I realised that you wouldn't see those. Yeah, he should have set up a front line, gotten the Forsaken to like wrap around, Chaos Warhounds to wrap around, Marauder Horsemen to constantly skirmish, and he would have done better, I think. But anyway, good battle nonetheless. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you, Navigator, for that awesome battle, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye!